Jesse.
I'm telling you the truth.
But how do we know that? Because for 3 days now, you've been telling us lies. And then you've been telling Scott lies.
What do you want me to tell you or do?
I want to know really what happened that day.
On an October morning in 2018, Pewaukee police walked into a quiet suburban condo and froze. 62-year-old Lynn Hernan was slumped in her recliner, motionless, a blanket over her legs, pill bottles scattered at her side. To anyone else, it looked like the tragic end of a sick woman who'd simply had enough. Her stomach had been troubling her for months. She'd been struggling, and the scene screamed suicide. But something wasn't right. Lynn wasn't just another woman who gave up on life. The air felt off, the story too neat. And what no one realised yet was that this wasn't a sad case of a woman ending her pain. It was the start of a cold-blooded murder investigation. To understand what happened in that recliner, you have to look at the person closest to Lynn in her final days, Jessie Kerchevsky. To the outside world, Jessie was the perfect caregiver. She shuttled Lynn to appointments, managed her medications, sat with her during those long, painful stretches of illness. Friends said Lynn trusted Jessie completely, maybe too much. But beneath that helpful smile, there were whispers of financial trouble. Jessie was drowning in debt, owing tens of thousands of dollars, and Lynn's trust, along with her money, became a lifeline. Investigators would later uncover that while Jessie appeared to be helping, she was slowly weaving herself into every corner of Lynn's life, right down to her bank accounts. On October 3rd, 2018, Jessie dialed 911 with a trembling voice, reporting that she had found her close friend Lynn slumped in a recliner, unresponsive. She told dispatchers that Lynn had been struggling with health problems and was likely taking too many medications. When first responders arrived, they discovered Lynn unconscious but barely clinging to life. Next to her sat a water bottle, later tested and found to contain a staggering amount of crushed eye drops, tetrahydrozoline, the active ingredient in Visine. This was no accident. By the time doctors tried to stabilise her, it was too late. Lynn had been poisoned. At first glance, it looked like a tragic case of a woman with declining health, but the poison told a different story. As investigators began piecing together the days leading up to Lynn's death, a pattern emerged. Jessie, the seemingly devoted caregiver, was anything but innocent. She had been manipulating those around her, spinning tales and presenting herself as the worried friend. Yet behind her calm exterior was a web of deceit. Jessie had been siphoning money from Lynn for years, opening accounts in Lynn's name, taking out loans and spending freely.
Everything on there is for...
Always permission. Always. I know better. I know better. There's a reason I don't want to be sitting in these. I know better, and I really...
And you know why I asked, right?
I feel like you're asking because of my history.
That's why.
I feel like I'm sitting in cuffs for a reason now. I'll be very honest with you guys. I feel like this is all mixed together.
Husband's policy.
No, but I mean, I feel like I didn't because of this. I didn't put two and two together until I saw you guys, and I'm wondering why I was going to Waukesha. To everything I've ever done, I've had permission from Lynn. I mean, she has in writing a million different things because of that. I've never forged her name. I've never nothing.
When Andrew, a longtime family friend, confronted her about the dwindling estate, Jessie provided falsified documents, convincing him that only half of Lynn's remaining savings, a mere $26,000, was available for distribution. She had forged papers in Word, changed fonts, and made it look legitimate, all while draining Lynn's finances. But the lies didn't stop at money. Jessie had cultivated a bizarre fascination with Visine poisoning, claiming in texts to her boyfriend Scott that she had once been poisoned herself by an ex. She wove elaborate tales of hospital visits, vomiting, and near-death experiences, all fabricated to manipulate those around her.
You really have nothing to say to me, do you?
No. I don't. What the hell do you expect?
I don't understand why you're being this mean. It doesn't even make sense.
I don't know you, Jesse.
Yes, you do.
No, I don't. I don't. Nobody makes up lies like that to their person they love. You don't love anybody.
I don't love anybody?
No, you don't. You don't lie to people. You don't lie to people and make up so many lies.
About one thing. One
No, it's not
thing.
one thing.
Our whole life was not a lie.
Yeah, I was.
No, it wasn't. How can you even say that?
Very easily, because you lied to me about something very serious. And then you told a bunch of other lies on top of that to my family about her being in the hospital and being brought back to life. You just kept making up more and more lies. You're diabolical. That's just crazy.
It was clear that Jessie's relationship with the truth was flexible, bending reality to suit her desires. Every lie, every forged document, and every carefully staged act painted a picture of someone preparing to cover her tracks. But ironically, she also seemed eager to incriminate herself, repeatedly inserting herself into interviews and giving contradictory statements that only heightened suspicion. By the time the authorities started connecting the dots, Jessie had trapped herself in a story she could no longer control. It started with the toxicology report. When Lynn's body was examined, the results were shocking. Her system contained an alarmingly high level of tetrahydrozoline, a chemical found in common eye drops like Visine. Normally harmless when applied to the eyes, ingested orally, it could cause vomiting, diarrhea, internal bleeding, memory loss, or even death. Investigators were immediately on high alert. Lynn's death had initially looked like a suicide, a tragic end for a woman suffering chronic pain and intestinal issues. But this chemical anomaly turned the case upside down. How had it gotten there, and why? Jessie, who had always been Lynn's caregiver, was at the centre of it all. Initially cooperative, she seemed calm and composed, answering questions in a steady tone, almost as if she were performing. But the more detectives dug, the more contradictions emerged. Jessie claimed she never administered any Visine to Lynn, yet evidence, interviews, and later digital footprints told a different story. It became clear that someone had been carefully dosing Lynn over time, making it look like a self-inflicted act, and all signs pointed to Jessie, the very person Lynn trusted most.
I think you guys think I did something or I did something wrong, and if you knew Lynn, you knew the way she was. I didn't do anything, and I'll tell you that honestly.
I don't know.
I love her to death.
I don't know her. That's why I'm asking you a lot of questions, because I don't know who she was.
I get it.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's one of the disadvantages of doing this job is you know her intimately.
Yeah, I know her very well.
And I'm investigating a death.
I get it.
And there's an anomaly in her toxicology. There's a drug in her system that's not supposed to be there.
And what would that be?
It's called tetrahydrozoline.
What is that?
The discovery of tetrahydrozoline in her system was not just a chemical finding, it was a damning signal that the sweet, caring caregiver everyone believed in had a dark side, a lethal side hidden behind her friendly facade. Her reckless audacity reached new heights when, from jail, she attempted to orchestrate forged recordings and falsified documents to support a fake narrative. By the time her trial began in October 2023, the evidence was overwhelming, and after 16 days, the jury found Jessie guilty of first-degree intentional homicide and multiple theft charges, ensuring a mandatory life sentence and exposing her as a dangerously cunning and self-serving criminal.
We, the jury, find the defendant, Jessie R. Kershevsky, guilty of first-degree intentional homicide as charged in count 1 of the information.